Within our society, we often only receive one perspective from the sources that we consume, even though we live on an increasingly globalized planet. Today's discussion is more about the effects of this limited range of experiences rather than why they arise. However, if that's necessary for you, then without elaborating too much, it has to do with the ideals of imperialism and supremacy prevalent throughout human history. In addition to in-groups coddling and acceptance of unethical beliefs, this all contributes to a narrow scope with which most people are able to view the world. Here in the United States, and in many other countries like it, people like myself, which are classified as white or white passing, are able to move about life insulated from problems that would be considered racism. This is because of the fact that white individuals were able to construct what the world looks like today in previous generations, and we, by how we believe or how we act, continue to perpetuate those systems that were put in place to make us superior. Even if we do not ourselves partake of the supremacists' brew, the keg still exists, and it's quenching the thirst of many individuals, especially those with political power, or the power to decide what is good or bad in this world. And this has been going on many years into the past and still exists within the present. The way many states and towns are shaped and divided are not because of what any individual did. It is because of the systems that were put in place. The insulation from racial disparities and the subtleness with which they exist allow people like us to simply go about life under the illusion that everybody else is experiencing life in the same way. Thus, when confronted with the experiences of people of color, or racism in general, we often become angry, dismissive, and defensive, even if it's a single sentence discussing something that is race-based. This confrontational attitude that arises from even a minimal amount of discussion regarding racism is known as white fragility. It makes sense because we often don't see racism. After all, many of us are completely unaware of the more subtle ways in which it manifests and how that can snowball into larger effects. We as white individuals often don't think about our color because everything around us reflects us and defaults to us. Often, even our culture is considered the baseline, and everything else is something other. It also often challenges our values that we learned when growing up, as we are often taught that we are the saviors and the do-gooders, and that we should be surprised when a person of color does something good. Our conditioned response is that that person is an outlier, and if they do something bad, or have done something bad, then that does not surprise us. But why? We subconsciously believe that people that are not white are predestined to act outside of societal norms, and this shapes every interaction that we have. What can we do as white individuals to overcome our fragility? First, we can build a tolerance that allows us to understand that discussions of racism are not about us personally or individually. We didn't decide how we were born, but we can decide what society we would like to see come out the other side of our influence. We can also resist our defensive urges and continue listening to the conversation without derailing it. If it doesn't feel like you need to respond, don't. Once you are in control of your actions, only then can you finally understand the stories that are being discussed online and elsewhere. Only then can you combat racism and reduce the fragility that exists within our society, and remove the institutions that are causing other human beings to suffer. We cannot change the subject. We cannot deflect with our ill-advised humor. We cannot get angry and defensive. Please keep that in mind, and if you have any further thoughts, please leave them in the comment box below. Please continue to cultivate a better understanding for a more glorious tomorrow. And as always, please stay safe and know that you are incredible. Until next time, my witchlings, bye.